Part 1. The truth about growth. Why easy never made you strong. There's a moment in everyone's life when you realize something powerful. The easy path will never make you great. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort, avoiding challenges, escaping failure, and hiding from anything that feels too hard. But here's the truth no one tells you. Every time you choose what's easy, you lose a piece of your potential. Because comfort doesn't build character. Struggle does. Pain doesn't weaken you. It reveals you. The people who rise, the ones who become unstoppable, unbreakable, and deeply fulfilled, are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who did the hard things, even when it scared them. 1. The hidden gift inside struggle. You see, hard things are not punishment. They are training. They are life's way of sculpting you into the person you're meant to become. When you face something difficult, waking up early, working toward your goals when no one's cheering, studying while others are partying, or saying no to short-term pleasure, you are teaching your mind discipline. And discipline is freedom, the ability to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it, is what separates average from extraordinary. Ask yourself, who will I become if I stop avoiding difficulty? What could I achieve if I train myself to do what others won't? You don't have to love the hard things. You just have to do them long enough for them to make you stronger. Every moment of resistance you overcome adds another layer of power to your mind. 2. Comfort is a trap. We live in a world that celebrates comfort. Instant food, instant entertainment, instant validation. Everything designed to make life easier. But ease has a hidden cost. It weakens your mind. It dulls your spirit. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you send your brain a signal. I can't handle difficulty. And over time, that becomes your identity. You start to believe that you're someone who avoids hard things, someone who gives up when life gets tough. That's how weakness is born, not from lack of ability, but from lack of effort. The truth is, comfort kills potential. If you want to grow, if you want to become someone who can handle anything life throws at you, you must build a habit of doing what's hard on purpose. Get uncomfortable. Take cold showers. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do the workout even when you're tired. Speak up when your voice shakes. These small, uncomfortable acts are not meaningless. They are mental push-ups. They train your mind to endure, to stay calm in chaos, and perform under pressure. 3. How the mind adapts to pain. Your brain is like a muscle. If you only lift light weights, it never grows. If you never stretch your limits, you stay weak. Not because you lack potential, but because you never tested it. The first time you do something difficult, it feels impossible. But when you do it again, it gets easier. And after enough repetition, it becomes normal. That's how resilience is built. Not through avoiding pain, but through exposure to it. Every challenge you face reprograms your brain. I can handle this. And that's where real confidence is born, not from fake affirmations or motivational quotes, but from proof, from experience, from surviving what you thought would break you. When you push through hard things, your mind becomes unbreakable because it remembers your victories. For the psychology of doing hard things, here's something powerful. Your brain doesn't like uncertainty or pain. It's wired to keep you safe. So the moment you face something challenging, it screams, "Stop! This feels uncomfortable." That's a survival instinct. Ancient programming that once kept humans alive. But in the modern world, survival isn't the goal. Thriving is. And to thrive, you must learn to silence that voice of comfort. Every time you ignore the part of you that wants to quit, you take control back from your brain's fear center. You remind yourself that you are in charge. That's mental toughness. It's not about never feeling fear. It's about acting despite it. Think of every great athlete, every successful entrepreneur, every person who transformed their life. None of them got there because it was easy. They trained their minds to stay focused when others quit. That's the real secret of success. The people who do hard things consistently are the ones who change their lives permanently. 5. Growth requires friction. Imagine polishing a diamond. It doesn't shine right away. It must endure pressure, heat, and cutting before its beauty is revealed. You are the same. Your potential won't shine until you go through the friction of challenge. The discomfort you feel when things are hard. That's the process of your transformation. Every setback is sandpaper smoothing your edges. Every failure is pressure shaping your strength. And the more friction you embrace, the more unstoppable you become. Because once you get used to doing hard things, everything else feels easier. 6. The power of identity shift. To master hard things, you must shift your identity. Stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, and start seeing yourself as someone who does. Say to yourself, I'm the kind of person who follows through. I'm the kind of person who chooses growth over comfort. I do hard things because that's who I am. When your identity aligns with your actions, discipline becomes effortless. You stop negotiating with your excuses and start living in alignment with your potential. That's how you become unbreakable, by turning difficult things into your normal. 7. Small, hard things, big results. You don't need to conquer the world overnight. Start small. Build momentum through simple, daily acts of discipline. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Do one more rep when your body says stop. Read when you'd rather scroll. Save money when you'd rather spend. Each small victory is a brick. Stack enough of them, and you'll build a fortress of strength and confidence. Because the magic of hard things is this: they compound. The more you do, the more capable you become. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the things that once scared you are now your warm-up. Part 2. The Discipline Blueprint. How to stay consistent when motivation fades. There's something most people don't understand about success. It doesn't come from doing extraordinary things once in a while. It comes from doing ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. Motivation is temporary. It's a spark. Discipline, however, is the engine. The truth is, the people who get ahead aren't the most talented or the luckiest. They're the ones who keep going long after motivation disappears. So, how do you build the kind of discipline that keeps you moving forward, even when your mind screams to quit? That's what this part is all about. 1. Why motivation will always fail you. Motivation is emotional. It's like a wave. It rises when things are exciting and crashes when they're not. But discipline is logical. It's built on choice, not feeling. When you rely on motivation, you're at the mercy of your emotions. When you rely on discipline, you're in control. Think about it. You don't always feel like working out. You don't always feel like studying, showing up, or being productive. But success is about how you feel. It's about what you do regardless of how you feel. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll never begin. The secret is to act before you feel like it. Because once you take that first step, your emotions catch up with your actions. 2. The 5-minute rule. Beating procrastination instantly. There's a simple but powerful strategy for overcoming resistance. The 5-minute rule. When your brain says, I don't want to do this, tell yourself, okay, I'll just do it for 5 minutes. Set a timer. Start. And here's the magic. Once you begin, your mind realizes it's not that bad and you keep going. You don't need to climb the entire mountain. You just need to take the first step. The hardest part of any task isn't doing it. It's starting it. So trick your brain. Start small. 5 minutes of effort often turns into 50. This is how you reprogram your brain from avoidance to action. 3. Systems over feelings. Success is not about having strong willpower. It's about having strong systems. Willpower is like a battery. It drains throughout the day. But systems, they automate discipline. A system is simply a rule or structure that makes the right choice the default choice. For example, if you want to work out, lay out your clothes the night before. If you want to eat healthy, remove junk food from your house. If you want to study more, block social media during focus hours. The less you rely on emotion, the easier discipline becomes. Discipline isn't about being strict. It's about being smart. You create an environment that supports your success instead of sabotaging it. Don't try to be stronger than your temptations. Make your temptations harder to reach. That's how you win. 4. Identity-based discipline. Most people fail because they approach discipline backwards. They say, I want to have results, so I'll try to do the right things. But the real formula is this. Be, do, have. You don't wait until you succeed to see yourself as disciplined. You start seeing yourself as disciplined, then you act like it. Say to yourself, I'm the kind of person who follows through. I'm the kind of person who does what I said I'd do. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, you reinforce that identity. And once your identity shifts, discipline becomes natural. Because when something becomes who you are, you don't have to force it. 5. Building momentum, the compound effect. The power of consistency is invisible at first. You won't see results right away. And that's where most people quit. But think of habits like compounding interest. Slow at first, unstoppable later. If you improve by just 1% every day, you're 37 times better in a year. Not because of one big effort, but because of the accumulated impact of tiny actions. Discipline compounds. Every workout builds strength. Every page read builds knowledge. Every tough decision builds character. When you stack enough of those moments, they create unstoppable momentum. That's how small wins turn into massive transformation. 6. Embracing the boring work. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It's doing the same things day after day when no one's watching. The world glorifies results, but ignores the repetition that built them. But here's a secret. The boring work is where greatness lives. The athlete repeating the same drills. The writer typing when inspiration is gone. The entrepreneur refining the same process for the 100th time. That's where confidence is built, not in the spotlight, but in the silence. Fall in love with the process, not the reward. Because when you do, consistency becomes effortless. 7. Delayed gratification, the superpower of the strong. Most people fail because they choose what feels good now over what feels great later. They trade long-term growth for short-term comfort. But every time you delay gratification, when you choose to study instead of scroll, save instead of spend, work instead of rest, you build a stronger mind. You teach your brain to prioritize purpose over pleasure. And that ability, that's the foundation of every successful person you admire. Discipline isn't about suffering. It's about choosing your future self over your current comfort. Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. That's the rule of growth. 8. The reward of consistency. Something incredible happens when you stay consistent long enough. The things that once felt hard become effortless. You don't have to force yourself anymore. It becomes who you are. And that's the real reward of doing hard things. You stop doubting your ability because you've proven it to yourself again and again. The noise fades. The fear quiets down. And what's left is a quiet, unshakable confidence. The kind that says, no matter what happens, I can handle it. Part 3. Mental fortitude. How to stay strong when life tests you. There's a truth you'll learn once you start doing hard things. Life will test you, not once, but over and over. It'll test your patience, your persistence, and your belief in yourself. Not to destroy you, but to reveal you. The hard moments are not obstacles in your path. They are the path. Because without resistance, there's no strength. Without struggle, there's no resilience. In this part, we'll go deep into how to train your mind to stay calm, confident, and focused, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. 1. The difference between the strong and the weak. When challenges hit, most people panic. They get emotional. They freeze or quit. But strong people, they pause, breathe, and adapt. They understand that pain is not the enemy. Panic is. The difference between the weak and the strong isn't who feels pain. Both do. The difference is what they do with it. The weak run from it. The strong use it. Tough times don't make you weaker. They show you how powerful you already are. You can't always control what happens, but you can control your response. And that's where power lives, in your ability to stay grounded when everything shakes. 2. Emotional mastery. Controlling the inner storm. Mental toughness doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being emotionally intelligent. You can feel anger, frustration, sadness, but you don't let them control your behavior. You notice the emotion, but you choose your response with intention. When you feel overwhelmed, try this. Pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Then ask yourself, what's the next right action I can take right now? This simple act moves you from emotional reaction to rational action. Remember, your emotions are signals, not orders. They're there to inform you, not to control you. When you learn to manage your emotions, you gain one of the rarest powers in the world: calmness under chaos. And calmness is confidence. 3. Pain as a teacher, not a threat. The most unbreakable minds see pain differently. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? Every setback carries a lesson. Failure teaches humility. Rejection teaches redirection. Loss teaches gratitude. You can either suffer from your pain or study your pain. When you shift from victim to student, your suffering turns into strength. You stop asking for life to be easier and start asking to become stronger. The obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius. Every challenge you face is shaping you, chiseling away the weakness, the fear, and the doubt, until all that remains is your true, unbreakable self. 4. Training under pressure. You don't build mental strength by avoiding pressure. You build it by stepping into it. The soldier becomes fearless through battle. The speaker becomes confident through stage fright. The entrepreneur becomes wise through failure. Every experience that stretches you is a training session for your mind. So, when life feels heavy, remind yourself, this is my training ground. Pressure creates presence. Stress builds focus. Pain builds endurance. And each time you survive something difficult, you expand your capacity to handle more. You become unshakable, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. 5. The power of perspective. Your mindset shapes your reality. 2 people can face the same problem. One breaks down, the other breaks through. The difference is perspective. You can see a challenge as a threat or as an opportunity to grow. And whichever you choose becomes your truth. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what can I control right now? What can I learn from this? How can I use this to build myself? This mindset doesn't make pain disappear. It gives it purpose. Because when you attach meaning to your struggle, you stop running from it. You start using it. 6. The art of enduring the process. Most people quit not because they can't handle the pain, but because they can't handle how long it lasts. We live in a world addicted to speed, fast food, fast results, fast success. But mastery takes time. Growth is slow. Transformation is messy. Progress is invisible until it's not. Enduring the process means accepting that things won't always go your way, but showing up anyway. It means believing in your future self, even when your current results don't reflect it. Consistency in the dark creates success in the light. So keep going, not because it's easy, but because you made a promise to yourself to become better. That's what mental toughness really is. Doing what's right, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. 7. The comeback mindset. Everyone falls. Everyone fails. What separates the unstoppable from the average is what happens after. The unbreakable mind says, okay, I fell. Now what did I learn? Then it gets back up, smarter, stronger, sharper. Every comeback adds another layer of resilience. Every recovery builds your foundation deeper. And one day, failure won't scare you anymore, because you'll know you can always rebuild. When you no longer fear falling, you unlock a level of freedom most people never experience. You stop playing not to lose and start playing to win. 8. The power of inner dialogue. Your inner voice is your constant companion. It can be your greatest ally or your biggest enemy. If your self-talk is full of doubt, fear, and criticism, you're training your mind to be weak. But if your self-talk is empowering, realistic yet encouraging, you're building strength from within. Replace, I can't do this, with, this is hard, but I'm capable. Replace, I always mess up, with, I'm learning and improving. Your thoughts shape your identity, and your identity shapes your actions. The stronger your inner voice, the more resilient your mind becomes. Final part, becoming unbreakable, turning discipline and pain into power. You've come a long way. You've learned that comfort weakens you, That consistency strengthens you, and that mental toughness is built through resistance, not ease. Now, in this final part, it's time to bring it all together. Because the goal isn't just to survive hard things. The goal is to thrive through them, to use them as fuel for greatness. This is where you stop merely doing hard things and start becoming the kind of person for whom hard things are normal. This is how you become truly unbreakable. 1. The formula for an unbreakable mind. An unbreakable mind isn't made in a single moment of courage. It's forged through thousands of tiny choices. Every time you push through resistance, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, every time you rise after falling, you are building mental armor. Not armor that hides you from pain, but armor that allows you to walk through pain without losing yourself. Here's the truth. Strength doesn't come from what you can control. Strength comes from staying calm when you can't. When life throws storms your way, you won't crumble. You'll stand taller, sharper, and more focused because you've already trained for this. That's what it means to be unbreakable. 2. Turning pain into power. Pain is the most honest motivator in life. It doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter you. It shows you exactly where you need to grow. Every difficult situation, every heartbreak, every disappointment, they all contain energy. And you have two choices. You can waste that energy on self-pity, or you can channel it into power. When you use pain to fuel your discipline, it transforms you. That's why some of the strongest, most successful people you'll ever meet have the deepest scars. They didn't avoid pain. They used it. The question is, will you let your pain break you or build you? Because a fire that burns you can also be the fire that forges you. 3. The power of relentless consistency. Consistency is your greatest weapon. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up again and again, no matter what. Every time you keep going when others stop, you separate yourself. Every day you stay consistent. You move closer to mastery. It's not dramatic. It's not flashy. It's quiet. It's early mornings, late nights, repetition, and discipline. That's what greatness looks like behind the scenes. Because consistency compounds. It multiplies your effort over time. What feels insignificant today will one day be the foundation of your success. Champions are not those who never fail. They are those who never quit. 4. Your mind is your greatest weapon. You can lose money, people, opportunities, and still rebuild your life if your mind is strong. That's why mental strength is the ultimate investment. When you master your thoughts, you master your reality. You start to see challenges differently, not as problems, but as possibilities. Every time your mind says, I can't, you challenge it. Every time it says, I'm tired, you whisper, just one more. That's how you train your brain to obey you instead of control you. When your mind becomes disciplined, everything else falls into place. Your health, your habits, your confidence, your success. 5. The beauty of doing hard things. Let's be honest, life will never be easy. There will always be problems, failures, heartbreaks, and uncertainty. But here's the secret. When you learn to love hard things, life stops feeling hard. The workouts, the work, the early mornings, the challenges, they don't break you anymore because you build a new relationship with struggle. You start to see difficulty as a sign that you're growing. You start to enjoy the grind. And that's when everything changes. When you no longer need things to be easy to move forward, you become unstoppable. Because the person who can do what's hard without needing comfort or validation, that's the person who wins. 6. Protecting your energy and focus. Being unbreakable doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means protecting your time, your peace, and your energy. You can't be strong for everyone if you're drained yourself. Discipline also means boundaries. Saying no to distractions. Saying no to negativity. Saying no to things that don't serve your purpose. Every no to what doesn't matter is a yes to your mission. Focus is power. And when you guard it fiercely, your progress becomes inevitable. 7. Legacy over comfort. At some point, you'll realize that comfort is temporary, but legacy is forever. The things you do when no one's watching, the sacrifices you make, the days you choose effort over ease, they all echo beyond this moment. Your actions today write the story people will tell about you tomorrow. So ask yourself, do I want to be remembered as someone who avoided difficulty or someone who became great because of it? True success isn't about status or money. It's about knowing that you gave your best every single day, that you didn't back down when it was hard, that you turned struggle into strength and pain into power. 8. The Unbreakable Mindset Manifesto. Repeat these words to yourself. I do hard things. I grow through discomfort. I choose discipline over desire. I control my emotions, not the other way around. I use pain as fuel. I stay calm under pressure. I show up even when it hurts. I am strong with my excuses. I am unbreakable. This is not just a mantra. It's an identity. The identity of someone who refuses to live small. When you embrace this mindset, nothing can stop you. You stop waiting for the right moment. You stop doubting your worth. You start creating your own power every single day. 9. The journey never ends. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You never arrive. There is no final level of strength, discipline, or confidence, because growth doesn't stop. It evolves. Every chapter of your life will demand a stronger version of you. And that's not something to fear. That's something to celebrate. Because you now have the tools, the mindset, and the courage to face anything. You know how to endure. You know how to adapt. You know how to rise. You have built an unbreakable mind. Not because you avoided struggle, but because you face it head on. Final words. Doing hard things isn't a punishment. It's the ultimate form of self-respect. It's you saying to yourself, I am worth the effort. I am capable of more. I will not settle. You've learned that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. You've learned that pain is your teacher. And you've learned that nothing is stronger than a human being who refuses to quit. So keep going. Keep growing. Keep doing the hard things. Because that's how you build a mind so strong that no failure, no setback, and no challenge can ever break it. You are not just surviving life. Fire, you are mastering it.